time. And yeah, why don't we start by reviewing the minutes? Obviously, or I assume we don't have any public comment. Jim, is that right?
No public comments, no.
All right, so let's review the minutes. I don't know if everyone had a chance to review them. First, let's take a vote, right? All in favor. Let's see who was here the last meeting. Okay. I'm working off two computers here. All right. So good.
So I went through the minutes. I could make a motion to accept the December 6th meeting minutes.
Okay, and do we have a second?
Jim, I just have, this is a very picky thing that I just noticed.
Can I just interrupt 1 sec? Do
Yep.
we do the second and then we have a discussion, right?
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
so let's second it and then yeah, let's move on. Sorry to interrupt. I'll second it.
Okay.
And then any discussion. Go ahead, Smith.
Jim, I saw under, letter D, Teresa's name is spelled incorrectly.
Oh, good catch.
On the
Okay.
fourth line
Nice catch.
under programs and sports,
Right after red zone, right?
right after red zone. Yes,
Yeah.
I just happened to see that. We should probably
Okay.
correct.
Okay. And I saw a couple, anything else, Smith?
I didn't see anything else. No.
I saw a couple of minor things. Number 6, remembering Stan Gdansky, second line, funeral was just spelled incorrectly. Funereal, right? Wait, no, I'm not spelling it right. Funeral.
Oh, right.
Something was, there's no, that extra E shouldn't be there. Okay. You got that, Jim?
Yeah, I got that.
And then also just one other minor spelling thing under G, under operating budget, the fourth to last line, I think it's just a tense thing where you say Jim concludes by saying that when we first starting accepting, so it should have just been started accepting credit cards.
Okay, got it.
Minor stuff, yeah. But otherwise look great. Any other comments about this? So all in favor of passing the minutes, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
aye. Oh, I don't see Mary now. Mary got, I've got to, there's 2 pages here.
Oh.
Is there a way I can get this so that I see everyone?
Hit layout, Andrea, and then go to grid.
Hit which?
Layout. It should be at the top of the screen.
I see view.
Not all the
Oh,
way
layout.
top. Like this.
Okay,
Yeah.
layout.
Yeah.
Layout, right. Okay, beautiful. One would think after all the Zoom meetings we've had that I would have this down. Thank you so much. All right, good. So we're good with the minutes and let's go back. In terms of liaison report. So David, we have the luxury of you, and Dwight, the luxury of you being here. So take it away, gentlemen. Who wishes to go first?
Go ahead, Dave.
And let's remember who's the liaison to which. We should maybe identify that.
Dave, you want to go or?
It doesn't matter to me, Dwight. I'll do whatever you want. If you want me to go first, I will.
Go for it, David.
Go ahead, Dave.
From the Board of Selectmen, at our last meeting, we had numerous situations and issues that we covered I can't say that I think any of them directly related to you, but I will let you know in summary what we did.
Great.
We did waive some of the regulations regarding the farm stands. We'd had a request because our regulations require that farm stands only sell goods that are produced in Woodbridge. And that was a limiting factor because there were some things that were sort of important to have in a farm stand that were not available in Woodbridge, but they had wanted to carry in the farm stand. So that request was sent to us by the Agricultural Commission, and we did agree with the Agricultural Commission. We voted to waive that particular regulation for them. And we also heard about, you probably heard something about the new trash, the bulk trash charges at our transfer station, because our transfer station is a very expensive part of the government. And one of the things that is extremely expensive is the bulk trash. That it's kind of like construction debris and big things that come in. We're not talking about the trash that you collect in your home and drop off at the transfer station. We're talking about things that typically have a lot of weight, and it's very costly for us to dispose of it. So that pay as you throw, we've enacted as of February, I believe, a fee for the bulk trash. And we've also been considering some of the pilot programs that have been going on around the state for a pay-as-you-throw trash program, which is basically there to encourage both recycling, since all across the country, land for landfills is running out. And we find it very expensive to dispose of the trash, and also unnecessary if we can encourage more recycling and people to take care of the trash. And so we did have a presentation by a professional in this field from Waste Zero, Kristen Brown, and she shared with us some statistics about other towns who had gone this route, and they significantly reduced the amount of trash that was being thrown away, and also the costs to the town for dealing with that. So there is a possibility that Woodbridge in the future may get into a pilot program to see how that works for our town. More on that as we move forward. But she did show us some very promising statistics where this is working for a number of towns like ours. We heard then a lot of financial reports from people about various community grants, sort of the status of our budget as we move forward. It still seems to be looking pretty good for us in terms of sort of tracking those monthly reports. And then we also heard some discussion about how we might implement a new strategic plan in our goal of getting a 5-year plan together for the town that might be able to align our specific strategic objectives with the various commissions and boards that are in charge of those areas. So that's another thing that's on the burner, and you'll probably hear more about that as we move forward. We received an update on the American Rescue Plan Act funding, the rebating the money that we've been getting back from the government. They've finally come up with their final regulations on what counts and how you apply for the grants, or how you actually justify the grants that have for the money that's been spent on the pandemic expenses, basically. We did we did make an appointment for a vacancy to the Inland Wetlands Agency, and we were in executive session discussing a number of things. Coming out of executive session, we, as a board, voted unanimously to support the appeal of the recent decision of the cell phone tower by the Siting Council, which was found, the Siting Council found in favor of the Verizon application, which would put the cell phone tower. You may have heard some controversy about this because it would put it in a residential area, and the town had suggested numerous other areas, and we were supporting a citizens group that was battling this with the siting agency. And now there is an appeal going forward because the Siting Council did fine with Verizon, and we voted to stay as a party to that in support of the citizens who are appealing the decision. We're not the primary appealer in this. We're in support of that, of their petition to have that looked at again by the Siting Council. As a second thing, after we came out of executive session, after discussion, there was a vote taken to reject the offer from the Land Trust and Park Association for a conservation easement on the Roger Sherman Farm, former Woodbridge Country Club property that we now own, and that conservation easement was rejected in a 4-2 vote. I was not in the majority on that vote. I thought we should give more consideration to the plans that the citizens have come up with, and that they have come through appropriate process, have come to the board for consideration. And so that was why I was in the minority on that. And then we did also have a vote that also was 4-2, which I did not, which I was not in the majority on, but it was a vote to get to be back engaged with Arbor Haven to further explore and try to keep moving forward on their proposal to make a large development on the former country club property. And I voted not in favor of that because I think that I do not feel that the board has done its due diligence on this yet. And the previous requests for proposal that have been sent out by the board talking about development specifically were very hostile toward this exact kind of development that has been offered through Arbor Haven. And furthermore, we as a town have not put out a specific request for proposal. So, I don't feel like the due diligence has been done by the town leadership to actually assess what the commercial value would be, whether this is a good offer, whether Arbor Haven is a person that we would want to be in business with, and so forth. So I voted against that, but we are moving forward with some level of finding out more about Arbor Haven, regardless of what happens there. If it does continue to move forward, it would end up, the final analysis would be the town would have to vote in a referendum as to whether or not to sell our property. The board has no power to sell our property. So regardless of what we, the selectmen, think as individuals, it's up to the town to make those decisions. So that's my report.
Okay, thank you. And I know when there were representatives from Arbor Haven who came to the Rec Commission meeting back a few Rec Commission meetings ago, there was a wish list that if that plan was to go forward, I'm just looking actually in this week's packet, it shows the list of the Woodbridge Recreation Department wish list of priorities, which John pulled together with input from the commissioners and his staff. So If it is to go forward, hopefully some of Rec's input will see its way. But again, it'll be the community who does the final vote, and that's part of that democratic process. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Thanks so much for your
Absolutely.
report, David.
It remains to be seen. I do hope that in moving forward, this is the kind of thing that only that typically our town council and first selectmen deal with. And so if, you know, I can only assume that they would take into consideration the input of all of the commissions and boards on this. Certainly there have been a couple of our commissions and boards that have been have come out quite strongly against this particular proposal, and then there are others who have made suggestions that they think would improve the proposal. So I'm not sure exactly where all that will go, but I think that right now what we're seeing in this proposal from both Arbor Haven as well as from our first selectman, who obviously has a very strong prejudice toward this, are some financial numbers that really don't hold water, and that's another major concern of mine is that we're getting into this for all the wrong reasons, and I don't think that is going to do good service to our town as a whole. I don't feel that it's that there's anything that's particularly political about it. I just think it looks like the mathematics don't work very well, and I think that our town would be better served by thinking it through a little bit more. So I hope we get to if we eventually get to a referendum, that the town will give it its best consideration and vote accordingly.
We'll see where that lands, and I think for the purpose of this meeting, getting a report of what's been discussed is great. We may all have different opinions about different issues, but getting the information is really what we're looking for, and trust that decisions that are made responsibly, and we move forward. Are there any other questions from any of the other commissioners for David about his report? I actually, I know I'm just taking that away for a minute. Any report, anything, or did I miss it, about the old firehouse and what's progressing with that in terms of recreational use of the old firehouse? Is there any movement on that?
No, there isn't, and there won't be until such time as we do some kind of a referendum, because there has to be an allocation of even more resources if we are to move forward on that. And currently that would have to go to the voters again to vote for bonding for a significant amount of money, and that would be, you know, again, put up to the voters. So we haven't talked about that. COVID has really interfered, and for good reason. I mean, this is obviously a very serious disease, and that's why we're still meeting by Zoom.
Doing what we're doing, exactly. And just to remind you, you know, there's definitely a long history. Dwight was here for that, that's for sure. Yeah. As for several of us, that there is a plan in place for use of the old fire department for recreational space. So it does.
It still is there, Andrea. It's still there.
It's still there. Okay.
Part of the plan. It's still part of the plan. The architect still has it, and that's one of the things that when we get to it will be voted on. But
okay,
we will be moving. Okay, the fitness center over there.
It hasn't changed. It just is sort of sitting on the back burner, because had we been able to have a legitimate referendum without the interference of COVID, we would probably have been voting on these issues last fall.
Of course, a lot of things have.
Until we can safely do that, I don't see that we're going to be moving on that project.
Okay. And then one other thing which I've raised in the past, and it's difficult to do during the winter months, but just to kind of remind or let you know that in the past, it was brought to the attention that there's some rot in the gazebo as well as by kind of the clock area in the front of center building that needs repair. And repairing it in a more timely fashion will maybe help save some money before it gets worse. So I just like to bring that to the attention for there to be follow-up about that when the weather permits.
To the first selectman's office, and I've been told that it's on the list, but whether anybody's acting on it is, I haven't gone over to look at the gazebo to see if they're building over there, but
That's okay. I just feel like part of our responsibility, we want to just share, you know, these things that we've noticed, or so that way it can be brought back. And
on behalf, I mean, some of the issues that you have on some of the earlier meetings, and because of the conflicts of some of the financial meetings and various things, I've had to miss a few of the recreation meetings.
Sure.
It just worked out that we've had board meetings and things at those times. But we have been, it has been put forward that as part of the Americans, whatever they call that thing, the Relief Act, with COVID money that we're experiencing extraordinary expenses on. Tony is looking into possibly looking at that tent where we still have a very good frame for it, but the canvas is all shot.
right.
And it was a big expense to replace that. But that is something certainly that, because we're doing so many more things outdoors in response to COVID, trying to keep gatherings from being inside, where the spread of COVID is much more easily, where that happens at a much greater rate. There is some possibility that we might get that, come up with a tent out of that.
That would be terrific.
So,
That's one of the things on our wish list. Definitely, there could be a lot of programming used in
yeah,
that.
and I knew that, and did bring it up to Tony on a couple of occasions, and I know that he's got that on his list. So
Yes, great.
he's got a lot to do, but as he moves forward, I'm sure he'll be considering those things for the Recreation Committee as well.
Terrific. Thanks very much for your report, David. Any other questions from any of the commissioners on David's report? If not, we'll move to Dwight for your.
Yep.
I'm not used to you being on a different commission or a different, it's like, wait a minute, which
It's
commission?
almost like I belong with rec. I've been living there for so long, but
Yeah, finance, right? You're our financial guy.
I'm the Board of Finance. So
It throws me, Dwight.
just a real quick report.
Sure.
We're doing budget season right now.
Yeah.
We did the capital budgets, and starting tomorrow, we have the operating budgets. So we're doing operating budgets, joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen tomorrow night, Thursday night, and Tuesday, I think the 1st. So we're going to hopefully wrap up. So we've got 3 nights of meetings, so we can go through the operating budgets, listen to what they're asking for, so we can act on them accordingly. Other than that, see, that's what we've been working on. So it's been, we're getting ready for that.
Now, are one of those meetings a meeting where John will be speaking?
Yes.
Which meeting
We're
is that?
Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
Thursday night at 7.
Thursday at 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. That's the capital budget meeting?
No, that's the operating budget.
Operating budget, okay.
That's the operating budget. Your
Okay.
staff and all that stuff, and your expenses and all that.
Okay, and thank you. And Jim, will you be able to send for those of us, I will be back over the border. I should be able to attend that meeting. Will you, I'm not sure if other people can attend. Will you be able to send a link to that for those who are able to attend?
Okay, I'll get the link.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So 7 o'clock is when we should expect that. Is that when the meeting starts, or when we think rec will be on?
The meeting starts at 6. Rec is on during the 7 o'clock hour.
Okay, terrific. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dwight?
So I don't know if this is a question for Dwight or for Dave or anybody else. Has anybody heard any update on the bike trail through town? I know they're raising money, but I haven't heard an update in a while.
I know they're working on it, Smith. And I know what they're trying to do is will incorporate it into a grant that they're trying to get where they want to add sidewalks from the high school to the town center and all that. So there is a program Betsy Yagla is working on. As it stands right now, I don't know, but we got a report about a month ago, and that's what they were hoping for.
Okay, yeah, I just hadn't seen an update for a while, so I didn't know where they were. So
It's on that list. It's on that list to do with sidewalks and everything else in town.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that, I'm just looking to see if it's on our agenda because I don't want to be out of. No, I think one of the. I don't see it here, but I know related to biking, there's going to be an event. Jim, do you remember the date? There's going to be like a biking event, and Rec will be involved in doing some sort of activity and providing some refreshments. Jim, do you have the date on that?
Double
I'm
check
forgetting.
that. I don't know. I think it's either May 7th or May 14th. Let's see if I got
Yeah.
it here. May 14th, as far as I know.
Okay. So stay tuned. We'll learn more about that.
Just want to also, while I have you, May 14th is First Holy Communion at church. May 14th is First Holy Communion at church. So you're going to lose a lot of families if you have it on that Saturday.
Well, it's not us. This is Betsy who gave me the date. I
understand, but I just wanted to let you know that that's going to be a major conflict for whatever we do here in town. We normally stay away from that date or league. So I'm
Dwight,
just letting you know.
maybe Dwight, that's something you should let Betsy know about. Are you in touch with her?
I can reach out to her. I know her real well.
And just to see if that impacts, if that will impact, or if there's so much planning around that maybe it would be good to just communicate that to see if that.
So what is it, a bike? Is it a bike?
It's a town biking event, and gosh, I don't have the details in front of me, but Betsy would know what,
I'll call her tomorrow. I have to talk to her anyhow, so I'll call her tomorrow.
Great, and if you have
It's supposed to
info,
go from center to Beecher and then back to center, as far as I know. So
yeah,
Okay. All right. I'll let you know when I find out.
okay, great, good. Meetings can be a sharing of information. This is good. Okay. Any other? I guess we cover liaison reports quite nicely. Okay. I'm just jotting a note. Okay. In terms of, I know it's already 7:35, so I don't want to belabor. In terms of a report from me, this is our first meeting back after the new year. I was hoping by now we would be able to say, all right, we're getting closer to seeing the end of COVID, and there's been a lot of improvement. And I know, the town is taking a really strong position on keeping people safe and, on behalf of the community. And from my perspective, I think that's a really important part. That's, really serving the community in terms of the mask distribution and the home kit distribution, and just keeping masks going in town buildings. I know that during yoga, when Bill does yoga in the building, people are fully masked and are really respecting that rule, which is nice to see. And I guess we just keep doing due diligence on this, and hopefully after a while we'll I won't say regain normalcy, but things will get a little more comfortable for everyone, and we'll see where this goes. I guess we'll hear in some fashion or another how this is all impacting programming, but I just think Rec has had a huge role in keeping the community healthy and doing whatever. And, this is a shout out to John, but to Teresa and Chris and Jim and John D, for all of the work that you do to keep things going.
Don't
Like
forget
without the
Dave Cohen.
programming, we would be in a lot worse shape, both physically and emotionally. Everyone needs outlets, and this has been really important, the role that Rec has had. I'm sorry, Jim, you were about to say something.
Oh, don't forget Dave Cohen.
Oh, and Dave
Recording
Cohen.
the whole week long.
Hi, John.
Hey,
Hi.
John, you're here. Great. Yes, and Dave Cohen, of course. Yeah, and probably I left out other people who keep programs going. And we know, we've got such a committed staff and volunteers. So, thank you to all. I also now, is it true? Do we have an ice rink up and running?
That's a little further down on the agenda.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I look forward to hearing about that. And I think during this winter time, it's John, I'm actually speaking from Toronto, where there's a ton of snow, and I was maybe at some point having more winter activities as well. Maybe we do angel making contests, or for those who have snowshoes, that we can gather outside safely and organize things like that. So that was just something on my sort of thought list as chair, to keep up snowman building or what have you. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you for being here, to our selectmen and our liaison. And I turn it over to you, Smith.
So thank you.
I'm mute.
As you know, the last few months ago, I've been putting a quick spotlight on some of the programming going on in the rec department, and I have talked to Teresa, and I hope she's there. Still, I haven't. She's probably on the camera somewhere. But I received an email from her because I'd like to put a quick spotlight on the pool, and I'm going to read what she wrote to me. I don't want to miss out anything that she wrote. The Woodbridge Town Pool opened in 1972 at Beecher Road School. Since then, Chris and Teresa have been employed since 1999. In the last 23 years, they have both had jobs as swim instructors and all the way up to lifeguards. And Teresa's had the honor of being the pool director for the last 17 years, exclamation point. We have helped facilitate and organize so many programs over the years, including swim lessons, swim team readiness, springboard diving, water aerobics, adult swim lessons. And they have also worked with the Beecher Road School on starting their adaptive swim program, and have advocated with school leadership on why the Learn to Swim program is a crucial part of a phys ed class. We've also been proud to support the community hosting triathlons, to checking out to Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We have also teamed with the rec department on adding to the summer camp program. And Teresa's estimation is that she and Chris have taught thousands of children throughout the years, with some of them also becoming swim instructors themselves, which is a really a great thing. And she's extremely proud of the program that they have built at the Woodbridge Town Pool. They have created a safe environment where families can come to play and learn. And now she has the great opportunity to see the love of the water grow with her own children. Under the leadership and guidance from Rec Director John Adamovich, they have emboldened his can-do attitude and his philosophy of, if there's a will, there's a way. And that's what the Woodbridge Town Pool has been thriving ever since. So thank you, Teresa, for those notes, and congratulations on your continuing work with Chris, Teresa, and John, and everybody else in the office as well. So thank you, Teresa, for sending that to us.
Thank you. And I can't forget Dave.
And Dave.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks very much. All right, good. Um,
That leads us to the pool.
that leads, yeah, is that nice segue? Yes, please, pool report. Thank you.
So, our swim lessons are doing really great. We have moved things, children around when they belong, say, in level 2 instead of level 1, but they were signed up for that level. We are moving them appropriately to open up as many spots as possible. And it's going, as soon as a child is able to progress through another level, we're say level 3, we're opening up that spot to try to make it available as many people as possible. Also in level 1, we're teaching it kind of like a circuit. So there's different stations, so the children get a more rounded lesson. They also get the experience of kind of working with different styles of each teacher. So if for some reason, if that teacher is not available or say they're out, that's not going to hinder the child's progress or their comfort level in the water because they've already been with that teacher. Now, all the teachers who are in that level, say level 1, only stay in level 1, and level 2 stay in level 2. So they're still in their own bubbles, and everyone is still socially distanced appropriately. And everybody comes in through the double doors. Parents are staying in the hallway in the viewing area. Everyone has masks on. So lessons are going beautifully. We're getting ready for the springtime. We're going to try to accommodate as much as possible, like we're doing, moving things around. I still am pretty firm on the level that we're at is the safest level. We're able to provide a really quality lesson to the children, and also it's a very well-rounded lesson and it's safe. Knock on wood, no.
The suspense. We lost you.
To
Knock on
us.
wood, and then what?
Oh, hold on. Let me see here. Hold
We
on.
didn't hear what you were knocking on wood about.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, knock on wood, no one has, because we've social distanced the way we have and kept the groups in these quote unquote pods or bubbles, if you want to call them, no one has gotten ill and everyone's social distance appropriately. So I really think we're doing this the smartest, the safest way. And the Saturday lessons, they're just a nice quality program. And I just hope when we obviously get to, if you want to say a quote unquote, safe spot or wherever we can, we're just gonna grow from that. But we're getting ready for our spring sessions. We're going to try to accommodate as much as we can safely. And also the regular pool hours, they're going great. The members are used to the process of going through everything, and all of our staff has been staying safe and healthy. So I just think we just need to stay with the course that we're going, and everybody is just doing a really great job.
Great. Good, really good to hear. How many swimmers do you have now in the programs?
So in level 1, we're full. In level 2, we're full, and in level 3, we're full. So we have 6 in level 1, and it's because of one of 2 reasons. It keeps a nice 2-to-1 ratio as we're going through the circuits, and the reason why we keep that ratio, and I know you're going to say, "Wow, Teresa, that's super low." Remember, these kids went almost 2 years without swim lessons, and we don't know what their swimming abilities are. And the worst thing to have is a child come to a water environment and have a bad experience. Right? So we're here to provide that positive experience no matter which way they decide to grow in the water and learn to be safe around the water. Because again, I mean, we have some of these kids in the lesson now that I've never seen ages of this age before. I haven't seen 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds almost in level 1. And it's because we've had this 2-year gap. And of course, we adjusted appropriately, but in level 2, we have anywhere between 6 to 8. It's based on the child's, comfort level. And in level 3, we have 8 students. And that's just because of how we can split the lane safely, 4 and 4.
I think that, the way in which you're doing this is very judicious. And I think I don't know, I'd like to speak for all of us. I don't know if anyone disagrees that we would totally support that you want to keep a small ratio and that the kids have a really positive swimming experience and feel safe. So I think, I commend you for being really thoughtful about that process.
Yeah, I appreciate that immensely. I've seen a lot of programs where it's 8 to 1, and to be honest with you, you're not going to learn if you're sitting on the wall most of the time. And
Right.
we're here so that you're safe in the water, and that's what's important. We teach you the skills to need to be safe and be able to, maneuver safely in the water. And you may come back for a lot more lessons if it's 8 to 1. That's great, but we want the brothers and sisters to come, hey, because your brother and sister had a good experience at rec, and that's what it is. We want families to grow here because their children had a safe experience. And we do get quite a few swimmers who's like, hey, we went somewhere else and we didn't have a great experience. We've heard from other people, to come to you. So that's why we like to foster that. And, it's always been, when you keep the low numbers and the children are able to move through the circuits almost, it just makes it a nicer environment, and the parents also feel safer about the program because swimming's not like any other sport. Anyone could, you can go out and start playing soccer or basketball and no one's going to get hurt. You might get a bump or a bruise, not you might get a broken bone, worst case scenario, but you're not going to drown, right? So that's why we keep it the way we have been. And I really appreciate everyone in the rec supporting us in our decisions. And we're just, when we get to wherever we are with this, we'll just keep adding and building.
Well, you don't have a great recreational program unless you have a dedicated pool director. Teresa and Chris are just fabulous. I mean, they keep us above board. Teresa especially, she knows safety. She knows how to deal with parents. She knows what to do and everything. And that's, I believe, why people trust our program so much, is because we really care and she really cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you see a different point of view when you're a parent, and thank you, Mr. A. It's, I would never, if it wasn't safe, I would never put a child there. And it's the same thing. Like, if I don't see it someplace I would want to put my child there, I'm not going to put someone else's.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for the care. It sounds like the program is going swimmingly.
Teresa, I know I asked you this back in December, but is there
Mhm.
any word from Mr. Taddy about the Learn to Swim program? Are they going to doing that this year?
I have not heard anything. I have reached out to him, sent a couple emails, and I haven't heard anything back.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it shouldn't have started by now.
Yes.
I think the main thing with the school is they're trying to, with the COVID problem that they have at Beach Road School with so many children in and out and learning at home and everything like that, is that that's not a priority right now for the school. Priority for the school is safety with the COVID, and they're going to probably hold back on a lot of programs
Right.
until we go out of the red zone. Remember, Woodbridge is in a red zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Shall we move on to personnel? Again, related to swimming. Alan Liu, the position for swim instructor, and I see the person has passed the background checks and the national sex offender list and be a minimum wage of $13 per hour. Do we have a motion to approve this I'm saying young person, this person
I
as a
approve
swim
it.
instructor? Sorry?
I approve it.
You approve it. That's Jane?
Yep.
Jane, we can't see you. Can we see your face, just to your lovely
Oh,
face? We see your ceiling. There you
okay,
are.
I'm knitting. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Good. Good to see you on camera there.
I'm
Do
here.
we have a second?
I second it.
Okay.
Jane, I miss your cookies.
I know. We need meetings in
You'll
front.
have to deliver them to our households. No, I'm kidding.
I will.
No. Any discussion about this? All in favor of accepting, motion to accept this position? Aye. I don't see a hand. Jane, are you saying aye?
I
Aye.
You're saying-
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Terrific. So it's nice to see that the pool still has some staff coming in. That's really great because I know that's
Hey,
important.
Andrea,
Yes.
I got a quick question. I just like to, I don't, how often do you do the background checks on staff? Do you do them every year? Do you do them once every 2 years? How often do you actually do back, and when I say staff, everybody, John,
3 years, Dwight. I believe.
Every third year,
Yes,
Dwight.
third year.
Third
What?
year. You should know
Every
that for
third
the
year.
town, being a selectman. It's every third year.
okay, I didn't know because.
You didn't know that?
Me too, so we're required every
David
2
Mogul
years.
would have known. He's on top.
Good
Okay.
question. Good question.
Okay.
Good. That's an important question. All right. Lovely. All right. We are up.
Wait a minute. I have one more thing.
Oh, sure.
I'm dealing with summer camp. We're dealing with summer camp staff with vaccinations and everything. And we're working with high school kids, all kinds of kids like that. So I have a call into Tony, and Tony's checking it out with the town to see what we could do about, we wouldn't be able to hire a lot of people. If we can't hire people, we can't have a program. And we hire about 60 or 70 kids. So I just want everybody to know that we're looking into that. Working with the town. We're working with Tony to find out if there's an exemption that we could have for summer program, testing or whatever it is. But Tony's going to get all the information for us. So I just want to let you know up front. That's what we're doing right now. We're working on the employees for the summer camp.
John, is this for exemption? Is it, I guess I wasn't clear. Is it exemption for testing or the vaccine, or what exactly are you?
We're not sure. Tony's going to see what exemption we could have, whether you have to be tested and have a booster, or just tested, or have your 2 shots, whatever it is, or just being tested every week, having being tested like that. He's going to look into see if it's 6-week summer camp. So we're going to try to straighten that all out, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. But I just want to let the commission know.
That's great that you're checking into this. Yeah, it's definitely not too soon to. That's terrific that you're, working with Tony about this. Okay, thank you, John. And speaking of you, this is a good segue. You're on your report, please.
Here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny. That's right.
The fitness center is going fine like this. One of the things I had, with the town, when we go to our budget hearing on Thursday, we only asked for $8,500. That's all we asked for, other than salary. We asked for $8,500, no more than that. But if I have to, the fitness center would come under that with a heavy cut, along with summer camp transportation and bank charges. But otherwise, the fitness center is running well. It's going good. It's being cleaned every single time. Most of our money goes towards making sure that it's clean before the next time it's being used. Outdoor facilities.
Oh, wait, can I?
Sure, right ahead.
Is it going okay in terms of mask wearing? Because I
Yes.
wondered how that's going.
Yes, I had a sit-down talk with the director of the interim director, which is Rob Kenyon, and I told him that if the masks aren't being worn and we get complaints like that, we will shut down it completely. It will be shut down. You cannot not have masks on, whether it's one person in a room or 2 people in a room. You have to wear a mask, and Rob knows that. And I said, if we have to shut because you didn't follow the directions, then we'll make sure that people know that the recreation department is stringent and one of our employees did not follow the directions. He knows that, because I made sure he knew that that's very important, because we share that building. We share it with other programs.
Right.
So we have to be very vigilant in doing that.
Right. There's the kid, there's the,
Jim spot checks during the day. Every day he goes over there to drop off stuff at town hall. He makes sure he swings by, goes in there, checks and sees, and he hasn't seen anything yet that hasn't been unmasked.
okay, terrific. And also, kids from, I believe, the daycare center, they come in and use room 16, and then there's, the whole human services area there. So yeah, we have all got to really work as a community.
I
So
told Rob he has
that's
to be
great to hear.
diligent. He has to make sure. And I talked to Eris. Eris knows. Eris takes care of it. And John Vigliotti, they make sure people wear it. But I want to make sure Rob knows at night, even though he doesn't think people are there, a group could be there. The baseball could be having a meeting in one room and somebody else down the road. So they have to wear their mask.
Okay. Thank you, John. Okay.
Okay. Outdoor facilities. Everything's going good. The parks are closed, but the park on Fitzgerald property is plowed. It's open. People can go in. People are using it. The skating rink is open. The skating rink is there. We also have I put together a ice skating agenda. We're going to be skating all the way, hopefully all the way through to March. And it's open from sunrise to sunset. And on the 28th and 29th of January, we're going to have night skating. I have to approve that with the chief of the fire department. And then we're going to have night skating again in February, 4 nights when they have that little vacation they have from school. We'll do 4 nights in a row. And if we make it to March, I have night skating in March. And probably at one of these, we'll have hot chocolate night where we'll just make the hot chocolate, put it in the big things at the firehouse and bring it over. And it's no charge just to have something for the kids, something there. But it's unbelievable. We opened up on the 21st. It was open on Friday. No publication or anything like that. And we had 8 people skating. The next day we had 30. Next day, Sunday, we had 60 all day long during the thing. I just counting, going by and see how many people, and 31 today. And no hockey. We have signs up everywhere. There's no hockey sticks, no hockey at all. It's just for the kids. We are allowing one hockey sled. A hockey sled is for somebody who's paraplegic to go on the ice, and they can use that on the ice because that's how they move around. But it's fantastic. We got it frozen like this. And somewhere down the road, I know Dave Vogel's going to have my back on this. We'd like to build a new one over at the country club. Dave, single rinks like that is only $2.4 million. We could do this, but we want to go for a double rink, and that would be about 7.4. So we could squeeze that by Gigoletti, just have them go out and get coffee or something, and we pass it right through fast. No, but that's something in the future we should look at. We should look at something because you can get 6 months of skating out of it, but we have to look into it and just see if we can get something done. Because at the country club over where the tennis courts are, or were, there's electricity. And that's all you need is a box right there to put the unit in. You put the piping down, you put just like we have now, and it freezes over and it just keeps it frozen. So that's something in the future down the road once we get past COVID. But right now, the skating rink we have, I want to thank Public Works. Public Works is fantastic in helping me. What's his name? Timmy was in charge of putting it together. We got it together, built the sides. We had a little water got a little heavy and started pushing the walls. So we went, and immediately the town was down there with 12 sandbags and sheared it up beautifully, and it froze. It's frozen now. The deepest part is 14 inches, and the lowest part is 6 inches. 6 inches is it's frozen in the deep part about 8 inches. So it's frozen down to the bottom on one side, and the other side is frozen 3/4 of the way. We have plenty of people. You can have up to 70, 80 people on it at once, but we're not getting that many. But people, and when I say 60 people in a day, I don't mean all at once. They come in and out, in and out, in and out. And what was his name? Jack Marlowe? Jack Marlowe, our first skater of the year, was little Jack Marlowe from Beach Road School. I saw him out on the ice with his dad, and I told him, "You are the first skater on the ice on Friday." He was out there. So excited. And Dad said to me, every day they have to drive by the park. And every day, Dad, is it open? Dad, is it open? So now I have a gigantic sign there that says rink open. And he saw
That's
it.
great.
All right. So then
That's
we'll go
really
on.
great.
That's
Real quick, I'll just say that I'm sorry, John, real quick. I was going to say that, yeah, running around town yesterday doing some chores, I passed by a couple of times all day long. There were people there, and it was really wonderful to see. And particularly a lot of little kids.
That's what I noticed too. The little kids.
So,
That's what it's all about.
It's great. We
I-
have winter that feels like winter.
Yeah. I saw someone posted how great it was to have an ice skating rink in town this year. So that's how I actually learned about it. I think it would be great to get some pictures and to get I don't know, something on the web page. Jim, I wonder if on the town page. What's that?
It's posted.
Oh, it is.
On Facebook, yes. I know because I clicked like to it. She posted it.
I posted one yesterday too.
Oh, terrific.
Yes, I saw yours. Smith.
And is it on the town page?
Town Facebook page. Yeah, it's on the town website, but it's also on. You put it on the town Facebook page too.
And to check the thickness of the ice to make sure you have to have at least 4 inches of ice for in the public to skate on like this. And to check it, a lot of people drill holes. We don't. We send Dave Code out on the ice. If he can get all around and doesn't fall through, that ice is thick.
Dave does it all. Do we, and are there some pictures in those posts?
Yes.
Oh, terrific.
In the Woodbridge Bethany forum page on Facebook, there was quite a few of them yesterday, five or eight yesterday pictures.
That's great. I wonder if there should be still, even though for those who might not know, it sounds like a lot of people know, if there should be a news blast, or did you already send out a blast about it, Jim?
It's a news flash out, and then, like I said, it should be coming in the Woodbridge Town newspaper. It was there, and the next edition of the newsletter.
Terrific.
So, yeah.
That's great. And I love that there are going to be some evenings and the idea of the hot chocolate night. That's terrific.
Yep.
Is there a place to sit and put on skates? Is there a bench or
Yes,
something?
we have
Yes.
2 long benches. We also have rubber matting. We have rubber matting and it covers
Great.
the entire section because we're trying to save the tennis court. When you have something that you use dual use, look at that. That's a tennis court and we're dual using it for an ice skating rink. We protect it by putting down 1 inch thick rubber matting all the way down. Put your skates on and off, and you only get on and off in one area. Everything else is fenced off, completely fenced off, and you can get in and out one way. And when you're coming off the skates on the ice, there's wood which protects the liner, and on the other side you step over and there's rubber mats, and you sit
Terrific.
down and change there. There's a garbage pail there, and it's ready to go. And we have a couple of kids I hired to come in and scrape the top of it.
You didn't get your Zamboni yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. So the way in which maybe our next meeting, we should all be on skates, and that way we can meet in person. We can have a meeting on the rink.
Yeah.
Dust them off.
So we'll definitely see. I'm definitely going to stop by the 28th or 29th. Is it going to be both nights, John?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I got to talk to Sean because
Okay.
he has the lighting system, and we can get that down there and
Okay.
put it up. Once it's down there, I could start it. I can get it going.
And if that hasn't already gone out in a news flash, maybe that could go out as a reminder or something.
Oh,
We could do that, but first let me check with the chief.
Yeah,
The chief
sure,
has to get
sure.
permission for that.
that's just this coming weekend. Wow.
Wow, that's
Cool.
pretty good. Boy,
Yeah.
fantastic. I
Okay.
didn't even know that. Well, tomorrow night is the firehouse meeting, so I could speak with him.
Yeah, okay. I would like to show up too. That's great. All right, continue on. I got so excited about that
Yeah, the
skating.
only problem we have is there's a big storm coming in.
Yes.
So we might have to push it back 1 week, push it back to the following weekend
Mm,
if it happens. We'll just play it by ear. We'll see.
okay.
Hey, excuse me, John.
Yes.
I stopped by for a little while. I watched the people. In my estimation, in my lifestyle, quite boring, but I can understand it's for the town recreation. Couple things that one more negative thing: the ice scrapers don't work. When I was alive back in the old New Haven Arena, and that was just step 1, what your guys are doing. They take the snow off. I believe that a no budget, we won't, but with the help of the fire department, we can make a wet carpet wheelbarrow machine that will lay down new ice and freeze in minutes. We're doing it at the end of the day, you'll have new ice every evening. And the other thing under consideration is my own satisfaction. Since no one uses the rink at night and you do have lights, how about a hockey night 1 night a week to bring in another part of the population of the town? Something to consider.
Bill, you do realize that it costs over $1,200 for a liner, and the pucks are coming off. And the only section of it that's protected by wood is where you get in and out. The rest of it is only protected by snow. And that's how the last one got ripped about 3,500 times, and we had to throw it out. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, as chairman of the ice committee for doing the new rink coverage with the water, I think you should get yourself together a crew and come on out there and do the job. It's pretty good to talk about it, but when you're chairman of that department, which you are, I'd like you to get out there and really get it done, because this is a small operation. We don't have anything
No,
really.
no, no, John.
Where are we going to get hot water? Where are we going to get things? We're working on it, Willie. We're working on it, but
All
you know
right,
what?
you
Pie
don't
in the
need
sky,
hot
because
water.
when you were younger and you played down on the ice down on Canolas Pond, it was all open, and we're trying our best, and we're going to see what we can do.
I just want to
I,
add to that.
I don't mean to make critical remarks. There are things to consider, and with the right design, you won't need a hot water system.
Okay. Well, then you sit down with me when you get a chance and you show me exactly what your system is. Maybe I can get the firehouse gentleman to come down and help us. I know
Alright.
I'm not as educated as you are, but I can also redesign and work with you to do this.
I don't think we're talking about education,
We are talking about
maybe,
education. I
maybe
am.
wisdom.
Wisdom, maybe the wisdom, but I
This
don't
is what
back down.
this sounds like a brainstorming session and everyone brings
Oh,
their.
this sounds like two cousins battling it out like we always do, but I listen to him because Billy always has a lot of good remarks and he thinks before he talks. I don't think before I talk. He does, and we get things done.
It's some good brainstorming. So this will be interesting to see what the cousins work out. I like this. All right.
Here's Jim.
Yeah, I just want to add one. When you add about hockey, I spoke to the Orange Park and Rec director, and he was saying that was the problem that ripped their liners, that they're playing hockey and the sticks, ripped our liner. They wanted to set theirs up this year. He had I don't know if he eventually got the liner, but they were having problems like we were in trying to track down a liner for the skating rink. So, yeah, you can try hockey, but it rips the liner, and this year was very tough to get a liner.
Well, I appreciate the input, and I know why we don't have it now.
Yeah. But maybe in the future we could, there's only $6,000 for this rink, and we build a second rink for adults. We build a second rink for hockey, and we buy the plywood and put it all the way around. That might be a thought. And have two rinks, one for hockey and adults, another one for little kids.
Let's sell the hot chocolate and fund the new liner.
$2.75 a little cup. That's not bad.
All right, I'm done.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Continue on. Our illustrious director.
Program and sports are doing fine. Our programs, we've used some strategies like on the Thursday night basketball and Tuesday night basketball. Two teams come in, play, and no adults allowed, and then they leave, and the next two teams come in. So there's no more than 20 kids in the gym at a time. Before we used to have all 40 kids in the gymnasium, and so that's when we're working out fine, and our programs are going well. I can't believe how many birdies we have to buy for badminton. How expensive birdies are. I thought they're only like a quarter. Now they're $1 something a piece. But our programs are holding their own, and we're getting good attendance with our programs. The financial reports.
Hey, Johnny.
Yes.
Johnny, Dwight, one real quick thing. I want to mention something that our league is going to be installing all new scoreboards up at Acorn this spring. So I just wanted to let you know about that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
We need to replace the scoreboards because, well, they've reached the end of their life. They're 15 years old. So we actually purchased two new ones, and they'll be coming in the end of March, and we'll get them installed the early part of April.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
And just to let everybody know, this is the league's 50th anniversary this year. So opening day is going to be held on April 30th on the town green. So everybody's invited to attend.
That's exciting. Congratulations. I know it's like one of your children.
Yeah.
A lot of effort.
I've lived it for over 35 years, so I have. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Nice.
In the current expenses, we're at 54.8%. We should be at 50%. We're 4.8% over. That has to do with COVID. The extra hours we have to have put in different times for different programs to clean different things. And sometimes we have to do mass cleaning. Now, at a certain point, you can't just touch it up, clean it up. You have to really clean it up. So that's where we put in the extra hours here and there for that. Last year's expensive, we were at 50%. Last year we were at 38.3. Most of our programs were shut down.
Right, no camp.
No camp and no summer camp or anything like that. So that's why we were under in that situation. But other than that, we're holding our own, and it's not too bad. It was 4% over. Hold on, Jim would like to say something.
I just want to speak on the income. Last month, Smith had a question about how much the percentage was collected by credit card. If you look at the current income, I figured out, I had said 90 and it's 93.4. So I was on the money on that 93.4% of our rec fees are collected by credit card.
John, I was just going to ask, the way the budget is standing now and us, running a little higher through the percentage of our budget, will it all shake out in the end? Okay.
I always say yes. I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. I always say yes, but this time I'm a little concerned because of the COVID. I'm a little concerned that we might we might go into the red. But what recreation does, if we see come springtime that we're falling behind like this, we shut down programs. We'll shut down, close out different things so we could try to balance the budget as best we can. But I don't see it being too bad.
We always play catch up. See, summer camp is a big expense, and that's in July, our first month of the budget. So during the rest of the year, we're always playing catch up,
Right.
And it's just taking us a little more time to catch up.
Yeah, a little bit longer, but
Okay.
we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the things we briefly discussed last meeting was regarding the credit card charges and a fee to be charged. Is that something, John, would you consider that if we were too far below our aiming point on the budget?
Yeah, that's some.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jim and I look at each other. Yeah, that's something we consider. We could consider like this. I'd have to talk with Tony, sit down and see exactly what we could do. Are you talking about adding a cost to the?
Yeah, we had just talked about that briefly last meeting. The processing charge, $1 or whatever transaction, or it's just throw that number out to try to offset the COVID setback.
You know what? That's a good idea. I'll have Jim mark it down there. We'll call Tony. We'll call Tony. We'll talk about that because that would save us. That would save us a little bit if we did that. If it's 93%.
John, just so you know that the state of Connecticut accepts credit cards for tax payments, and you pay the full amount that they pay to the credit card company. So in addition to your tax going on your credit card, the amount that the state is charged by the credit card company is added to your credit card bill. So governments do it. It's not that hard a thing.
So let's just, I think, Jim, you mentioned that the costs for programs and stuff went up, I think 4% when we first started taking credit cards.
That is correct. Yes, we raised the fee 4% that year. Yes.
All right. So let's just be careful how we position this. So we're not adding credit card costs again. We may just in fact be raising the costs of the classes and programs themselves.
Yeah, John went up 2% this year in the budget anyway with all the fees. We do that every year. We go up 2%. And that year that we first started correcting.
So that probably should. You're right, Mike. That probably should cover it. That should cover it going up to 2%. Covers what we have to pay in fees. Okay.
So 2% would be how much would the customers have to pay for that? You're suggesting just pass that 2%?
I think it's like
yeah, I mean,
anywhere from $3 to $5.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think it was $112 we charged this year, and the next year we plan to charge $120 for the program.
Something like that.
It's like $8 that went up.
Yeah.
For next year's programs.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Then we have let's find this emergency plan. I'm working on that right now. I should have the emergency plan. So we don't run into the problem we had last time with the pool and what to do. Putting that together. It takes a little while to get all the information in for that.
Right.
Policies and procedures. We still haven't,
Yeah, there's no policy.
there's no policies and procedures yet like this. And now correspondence. Well, that's out of my district. Okay, I'm sorry. That's up to you, Andrea.
Okay.
Field
Correspondence.
requests.
Right, right. The only, right, field requests, exactly. So, let's see. Well, the first question, so we have field requests from,
Do all the count.
Amity Girls Youth Lacrosse, right?
Yeah, they're
The
all the
youth-
same requests as normal.
As always.
As previous years. I confirmed with Parks Director Adam Parsons today that the Pease Road fields won't be open to April 18th.
Okay,
And that's due to, and it's also closed the first month of July. I mean, for the whole month of July, first 2 weeks in August, and that's due to overseeding and filling up the holes with topsoil in goal areas. So that's what's to be done this year. So that affects the groups that do play at Pease Road. So they'll have to have a delay start in their schedule. You know, I've notified them, and the letter that went out to the people sending requests, you know, I did say of the delay. But yeah, on any of those requests, they're the normal requests as usual.
okay. So, in terms of the field requests that they need, the fields that they need, it all sort of fits. You have like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yes.
It all
The
works out.
calendar's behind me. If I had a camera, you could see how this weird calendar with all this stuff. So yeah, everything fits. I mean, there's no conflicts. They've,
Good.
you know, they've been doing this for years, and everything's fine. I mean, the problem is we don't have any place to put the people, you know, that normally start in early April at Pease Road.
Yeah.
You know, there's nowhere to put them, but that's what we can do. I mean, like I said, I notified them that they can't start till April 18th.
Yeah, and there's no other field that's available.
You
for-
know, I mean, like I said, Beth, the only other place for soccer would be West River, you know, and we give, you know, Bethwood Baseball has West River most of those times. So, right, there's no other place to, you know, move soccer.
They're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah, and lacrosse.
How many weeks delayed is it?
3 weeks. It normally opens up April 1. They won't be able to use it till Monday, April 18th.
Okay.
It's gonna snow to the 18th anyway, so
They'll be skating
there you
instead.
go.
All right. So do we have a motion to approve these field requests?
Approve.
You have to do them one at a time.
All right, Smith, and do we have a second? Mary. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Any other business that we have missed or that is important? If so, we need to take a vote. Anything else? All right, so keep us posted if you're opening if there's going to be that evening skating on the weekend, and keep up the good work. And thank you all for being here tonight. Do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, stay well all. We're adjourning the meeting at 8:21. Thank you all for your time and dedication. Keep well.
Yeah, February 28th, the next meeting.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. All right,
Good night.
Jim.
Night.
Without you. Good night. Take care.